Corruption is not just about stolen money, it's about stolen futures. Every time a hand takes what it does not deserve, a child's education is delayed, a family's hope is dimmed, and a nation's progress is pushed backwards. And here's the truth. Corruption is not a distant problem happening somewhere else. It is here, around us, quietly shaping the world we will inherit, unless we choose to change it. And change does not begin with someone out there. It begins with you, with me, and us, right here, right now. I believe our generation is not just the future of this nation, but we are its present force for change. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Novia, and I'm from the University of Warmadewa, Bali. Corruption is a silent pandemic. It doesn't spread through the air, but it spreads through cultures, through the normalization of small dishonest acts, and through the idea that this is just how things work. We joke about it, we accept in whispers, and before we know it, it becomes part of who we are as a society. And that is dangerous because corruption is not just about illegal transaction, it's about eroding trust. Trust in our system, our leaders, and even in one another. When trust is gone, people stop believing in justice, believing in fairness, and eventually stop believing in change. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share this story with you. I remember during my school years, I overheard someone say, "Don't be naive, corruption will always be there." At that moment, I felt this heavy frustration, as if we had already surrendered before the fight even began. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized corruption survives not because it is unstoppable, but because too many people stop trying to stop it. Ladies and gentlemen, our generation cannot afford that surrender. We have more tools than any generations before us. The power of technology to expose, the power of global connection to inspire, and the power of education to awaken awareness. But tools alone are not enough. Change begins with courage, the courage to refuse participation in even the smallest dishonest act, the courage to speak up when something is wrong, the courage to stand for integrity even when it's unpopular. I have felt it in firsthand. There was one moment when I found one about a small misuse of funds in a project. I could have stayed silent. It would have been easier for me, but instead, I reported. I faced uncomfortable conversation and made sure the money was returned. And then, was it a huge political scandal? No, but it mattered because justice is built not only in courtrooms but also everywhere. And here's where we often get it wrong. We think the fight against corruption is only the people in offices, in parliament, or in big organizations. But the truth is, it starts with us, with the choice we make every single day. It starts when you refuse to pay a bribe to speed up paperwork. It starts when you submit your assignment without cheating, even if everyone else doing it. Or it can be starts when you choose to vote, whether in a student council election or in a national one, based on integrity, not popularity or promises. It continues when you use your voice, both online and offline, to raise awareness about unfair practices. When you share verified information, when you fact check before reposting, and when you refuse to let lies go unchallenged, it continues when you mentor younger students or teaching them that honesty does not is meaning a weakness, but it is a strength. Ladies and gentlemen, this action may seem small, but they are like drops of water. Alone, they seem insignificant, but together, they form a wave powerful enough to wash away the deepest stain. And here's the beautiful part. Integrity is contagious. When one person dares to be honest in a dishonest environment, it gives permission for others to do the same. When one person chooses transparency, it forces the people around them to rise. and to do the same thing. Imagine if every young person in this country decided today to become a guardian of integrity, not somebody who becomes something in that community who still normalize corruption. So corruption is not an unbreakable curse. It is a human-made problem, which means it can be solved by human courage, and the urgency is now. Every year we delay, more opportunities vanish, and more dreams are stolen. But we decide that our values are not for sale. We start building a society where justice is not just an ideal, it is a reality. So here's my call to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, be the voice that refuses silence. Be the example that refuses compromise. And when you see injustice, don't look away, because the moment you do, you give it permission to grow. We are not too young to make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the generation that can change and choose the right cycle, that can prove integrity is stronger than grit. And when history looks back, let it say, let them know they were too young, but they were brave. And because of them, a just society was born. So I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for your attention.